guys, that wrestling guy back once again. Oh my. Yes, I'm about 4 days late on my Raw review, but to tell you the truth, life gets in the way and sometimes you have to face life whether you want to or not. But I am here now, and so I thought I'd talk about Raw. Raw, August 1st, 2011. Well. Guess we should get to it. Okay, so what do we got? We start off Raw. CM Punk comes out to Cult of Personality, which is his new theme song. Very catchy tune, I must admit. I'm actually a big fan of that song. So that's okay. Although, I will say, I did like Fire Still Burns, his old theme. Well, that catchy one too. I was kind of hoping they would kick that down to the Nexus. Well, you know, those two guys that are pretty much the Nexus now, but apparently not. Anyway, he comes out and basically comes out and gets the crowd reaction and says the champ is here and holds his belts up and all that jazz. And Triple H comes out afterwards, obviously, and the two of them bicker back and forth. And actually, I'll tell you one thing that interested me. CM Punk said that Vince McMahon let a lot of main event talent guys go, and a lot of guys they could have used to build the company just walked out because of his insatiable ego. Guys like Mick Foley and Chris Jericho and Bautista, who's worthless and I'm glad he's gone, and Brock Lesnar, who was an amazing talent. And basically they bicker back and forth, and Triple H gets verbally owned. And, you know, he says he's going to hit him. Actually, I'll tell you one thing that made me laugh about this. He said he was going to kick CM Punk's skinny fat ass. Yeah. It's a good time. Anyway. You see, there's always a part of the show that I either miss or don't pay attention to. Just there. There we go. And, you see, the first thing was the Diva Battle Royal, and it's, you know... Actually, to tell you the truth, as far as the Battle Royals go, this wasn't bad. Beth Phoenix won at the end by throwing both Bellas out, one on each arm. That was kind of cool. And then afterwards, Kelly Kelly, who was at commentary, at ringside doing commentary the whole time. Her and Michael Cole were arguing, and, you know, it was a four-person announce team now. You got JR, Michael Cole, Jerry, and Kelly Kelly. Anyway, afterwards, Kelly Kelly comes in to shake Beth's hand, and Beth just waylays her ass and throws her into the barricade outside, and then picks her up and does it again. And basically says that the day of the happy, friendly divas is over, and she's going to be the champion because she won the Battle Royal. She gets the title shot at SummerSlam. This actually could be an okay match. I am actually a huge fan of Beth Phoenix, and I wish they would showcase her more often. I also am a huge fan of Natalya, and I wish they would showcase her more often, as opposed to Kelly Kelly or Melina or, before they fired her, Michelle McCool. So yeah, I mean, like, I know I bitch about the divas a lot, but this actually was okay. Backstage, you got The Miz and R-Truth talking, and, you know, R-Truth talking to several nobodies, little Jimmies, I would assume, or well, could be little James, who knows. And Miz says, even though they're teamed up because they're having a tag match, they're nothing alike, and the whole gist of it is that while he's talking, he convinces The Miz to talk to himself. So, there you go. Although I will say this, R-Truth did bring up a good point. Why did Triple H, or Vince McMahon, hold a tournament to crown a new WWE champion if they were just going to re-sign CM Punk? What was the point? Why not wait the extra week, hire him back, and then set the match? You basically had 8 guys wrestle for absolutely no reason. Negated even more when they have to lose, or when Ray wins the whole thing, immediately accepts a title match from John Cena, and then gets, you know, loses. Obliterated. So, why not just hand Cena the title? Here, take it. You know, it's just stuff like that that really makes me scratch my head. It's stupid. Why would you go that route? I mean, the whole thing, like, I understand they want to build towards a match between CM Punk and John Cena. They figure they need 2 belts to do this. Anyway, After that, it's The Miz and R-Truth and the returning John Morrison and Rey Mysterio. This match was good. Very good. At the end of the match, John Morrison hits the Moonlight Drive on Miz, but Morrison walks into what I like to call the pay dirt and gets pinned. And see, this is now the second match that John Morrison's had back, and he had one on SmackDown, and he's lost both. Clean. Like, I don't get this. They spent all this time hyping him up on his comeback, being a high-flying expert in the parkour and all that stuff, and there was a segment backstage where he was jumping around like a monkey and all this stuff, and he just lost. Again. You know, the match was fine. The four guys can work hard. I mean, The Miz and R-Truth and Rey Mysterio and John Morrison are all good wrestlers, but it's just the ending there didn't make any sense to me, because it just seems like they're burying this guy in his comeback, and I don't know why. Unless Melina pissed someone off backstage again, and now he's being buried once again. If you don't know, Melina and John Morrison are dating, and there's a whole thing involving WrestleMania this year with Snooki, and he got into trouble over it. I won't go into it here, but seems political to me, and I don't like politics. Oh, after the match, Miz holds Morrison, and R-Truth hits him with a water bottle of doom. And the water of, infinite death hits him and he goes down. Oh, and he also gets a skull crushing finish. For some reason, R-Truth has spent the better part of 2 months now hitting people with bottles of water. Why? For what purpose? I imagine being hit with a water bottle, if it's full, it hurts, but I can't imagine it knocking you out. And it's open, too, so when he hits him, it just splashes everywhere. And then if he goes to hit him again, it just won't... You're hitting somebody with plastic. You know? Dolph Ziggler comes out next, and he has a new song. Well, it's the same song, but it's slowed down. Anyway, Dolph basically comes out and says he wants to know why he's not getting attention, and Vicky does her excuse me, and blah. And Alex Riley comes out. Riley wants to know when Ziggler's going to accomplish something without Vicky. Dolph has Vicky step aside, and he leaves. Tough guy segment. I imagine this is leading towards the United States title match between Alex Riley and Dolph Ziggler. I don't care, personally. Alex Riley's not that good. Dolph Ziggler, however, is good, but, who knows? They could surprise you. After that, we have a Battle of the Jobbers, Santino Marella and Zack Ryder versus David Otunga and Michael McGillicuddy of the Nexus. Well... Basically, this whole match, right? Zack Ryder has been getting a lot of fame over the last year on the internet with this show, and he has an internet title and all that, and, I say all the power to him. If they won't get him over, and he feels he has to go and get himself over by himself, online and all that, just to get noticed, then all the power to him. I hope he becomes one of the biggest stars ever. Because that's basically saying, you know what, you're not going to work with me, then I'll do it myself. And I admire that. But anyway, when he gets tagged in, they erupt for the guy. But anyway, it doesn't matter. As soon as he gets in, he gets destroyed and buried and pinned. Done. Match was okay, but it was only 2 minutes long. What could you... This is their idea of getting him on television, and he's just jobbing. The next match is between Alberto Del Rio and Evan Bourne. And, basically, after about 2.5 minutes, Del Rio slaps on the arm breaker and Bourne taps out. Bourne is on a very big downturn. Again, as I mentioned, he wasn't in the championship tournament despite being the only one who was in the Money in the Bank ladder match not to be in the tournament. And now he just jobs to Del Rio. Not saying losing to Del Rio is a bad thing because he's a star, but why so short and why so little offense? Okay, so after that, Triple H comes out with a big announcement on who should be the champion, and John Laurinaitis comes out. You remember him, don't you? The guy that showed up at Money in the Bank when me and Otakun were doing the review. The guy that I'm willing to bet 5% of you know who he is and why you should care. I'll recap it very briefly. He's a guy who works in management. He used to be a wrestler. He sucked then. He's even more annoying now because he's on TV. The end. basically, he says he comes out and he's in charge of talent relations. And after that, Cena comes out and says that he had a good time punching him in the face at Money in the Bank. He says he should do it again. When he goes to do it, Laurinaitis walks over to Triple H expecting him to defend him, and he's like, what? Whatevs. Basically, what they're going to end up doing is who is the WWE Champion. It's going to be Cena and CM Punk for the undisputed WWE title. See, the problem with this is they can't call him the undisputed champion because he's also a world champion on SmackDown. So, basically, they're going to find out who's going to be the WWE champion, even though technically that is CM Punk. John Cena won a belt, but it's not the WWE title, not the one that they've been altering and making useless in the last 10 years. I mean, it does have meaning when they want it to, like in Money in the Bank, it had a lot of meaning, but that's not the belt that Cena has. Cena has some belt they just made up in a week. And basically what they do is they both, Cena and CM Punk hold up their belts repeatedly, and the music keeps shifting to whoever's holding up their belt, and oddly enough, at points, John Cena got a bigger reaction. It's kind of weird. I thought that CM Punk was going to be the next, big star who outshines everyone else, and, he still might, but on this night, I have to say, John Cena was getting a bigger reaction. Overall, the show was good. They advanced the storyline and everything. They made a few boneheaded decisions, but they always do, so I'm not really surprised by that. But the show was good. They hit all their points, and they're setting up SummerSlam. SummerSlam is shaping up to be a pretty good card. I mean, they always tend to put more effort into the second biggest show of the year. And I don't think I have any gripes. Like, aside from the ones I discussed with Zack Ryder and then, Triple H. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan, but I can pretty much tell what's going to end up happening is this is going to lead to a match between CM Punk and Triple H at some point. Which is fine if Triple H doesn't win. And now, the reason I say that is because Triple H doesn't need to win. He's already an established star, and he actually, his character on Raw is that he works backstage as part of the office. Well, he actually is part of the office. He does not need the rub. He is the established star. CM Punk needs the rub. That's the same reason he needed to beat Cena. But my fear is that SummerSlam, Cena will beat Punk and reunify the titles, and CM Punk will start complaining that it wasn't fair, which leads to a match with Triple H where Triple H beats him too, and then we're back at the status quo again. That's a mistake. They really don't need to do that. CM Punk should win the match at SummerSlam against John Cena. Cheat if you have to. I mean, I'm sure they're going to. Cena does not take clean jobs that often. But keep the belt off Cena for a while. I know they want to build to him being champion against The Rock next year at WrestleMania, but that is still quite a ways away. He doesn't need to be champion the entire time. That's my 2 cents on it. Laid back wrestling guy this time, no freakouts this time, Anyway, that's my Raw review, and until next time, guys, snap in.